Hello everyone, welcome back. So in the previous video, we had finished up the login logic for our application. We were able to successfully log in our user into Firebase. And now in this video, I am going to work towards creating the service that is going to allow us to actually show some pop-up notifications to the users in terms of pop-ups from the bottom or from the top to actually tell the user if their operation was successful or not. So with that out of the way, let's get going. So the first thing I'm going to do is that inside of our lib folder, I'm going to create a new folder. I'm going to call this folder services. Then once we have the services folder created, the next thing I'm going to do is that inside of this folder, I'm going to create a new service. And the name for our service is going to be the Snackbar Service. And then .dart. Once we have that, the next thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to import the Flutter material library, and I'm also going to import the Flutter widgets library. So I'm just going to import the widgets library that is provided to us by Flutter. Once we have that, the next thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to create a class, and this class is going to be the actual service class. So I'll call this Snackbar or Snackbar Service. And then what we can do is just add the properties and methods that we want associated with this class. So this class is going to have a build context, and this context is going to be the build context of the actual page that we are currently on. So every time we navigate to different pages, we'll update this build context to reflect the change of page and actually have the build context of the new page. The next thing we're going to do is that, similar to our auth provider, we would also want there to be just one instance of our Snackbar service in our app that would manage showing the snack bar throughout our app's lifecycle. And for that, I'm going to create an instance of our snack bar class, or create a static instance of our snack bar service. And I'll just call it instance, and then we'll equate it to our snack bar service. Once that is done, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to, for good practice, just define the constructor for our snack bar, and I'm going to leave that empty. And then after that, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to create a setter method for our build context, and I'll call this build context. And we're going to be passed in a build context, which I'm going to say underscore context. And then what we're going to do is that we're going to set our build context to the context that gets passed into us. And I just have to fix the name, and it has to be build context. Once that is done, what I'm going to do is do this, and then what we can do is rename our context to actually build context. Do Alt-Shift-F, Command Save, and hopefully this should save the app, reload the app, and hopefully we shouldn't get any errors. Now what we're going to do is that we're going to define the function that is going to show our snack bar. So I'm going to have two functions. One is going to be the show snack bar error, and the other one is going to be show snack bar success. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to do show snack bar error first. And then what we're going to do is that for this, we are just going to pass in a string for the message. So the text that we want to display inside of our snack bar pop-up. The next thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to use a method which is scaffold.off, and then we're going to access the scaffold that is going to be provided to us by the build context. And then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to use the show snackbar function, and then inside of here we're going to define a new snackbar object. And this snackbar object is going to be the actual snackbar that gets shown. So the first thing is going to be our duration. So the duration for this snackbar is going to be a duration object of seconds 2. So a duration object which is going to have a duration of 2 seconds. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to define the content for our snackbar, and the content is going to be of type text, and then the actual content would be the message that gets passed in. And then we'll have a style for our text too, which is going to be of type text style. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have a color, which is going to be colors.white, and then we're going to have a font size, which is going to be font size 15. And lastly, the last thing we're going to do is we're going to define the background color, which in this case is going to be colors.red because this is an error snack bar. And then we're just going to do command save. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to copy this function. I'm going to go down, I'm going to paste it in again, and instead of error, we'll do success. And then instead of the colors.red, this time we'll do colors.green, and we'll do command save. Once we have this implemented, the next thing we're going to do is that we're going to go to our auth provider, and in our auth provider, we're going to import the Snackbar service. I'm going to do // and then services, and then Snackbar service. Once we have the Snackbar service imported, what we're going to do is that instead of printing logged in successfully, what we'll do is that we'll access the instance of our Snackbar, so go Snackbar service .instance dot, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do show Snackbar success, and then inside of here we can send in our message saying logged in successfully. Or a better thing to do and a cool thing would be to just do welcome and then comma, and then we could have the user's name inside of here. So I'll do user dot, and then I'll do display name. So Alt-Shift-F command, or not user dot display name, I'll do user dot email, and do Alt-Shift-F command save. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is that I'll copy the same line of code and I'm going to paste it here. But instead of show Snackbar success, I'll do no Snackbar error. And then I'm going to do error logging in. So I'm just going to do error logging, or not error authenticating. That would be a better thing to say. Once that is done, I'll do command save. But if you do click the login button right now and it comes to either this or this line of code, it's just going to crash. And the reason for that is because our build context is none and we are not assigning it anywhere. So what we're going to do now is that we're going to go to our login page, and on the top, what I'm going to do is I'm going to import the Snackbar service, and then inside of our main build function, what I'm going to do is that I am going to take the instance of our Snackbar service, Snackbar service.instance.build context, and I'll set it to the context that gets provided to us by this build method. Then I'm going to do command save. So now if I go into my application and then I input a random email, so I do zan.m@gmail.com, a user that is not registered yet, and I'll input a random password. I'll click on login, and it'll give me an error. Okay, everyone, so I found the error. The error was that we were assigning the build context before there was a scaffold. So all we have to do is that we have to copy this line of code, remove it from here, and we have to place it under the widget tree such that it has a scaffold, or the build tree has a scaffold on top already. And we didn't have one, so we were getting an error. All I would have to do then is that we would have to go to our login page UI, and then inside of the builder function, we can set the snackbar.instance.build context equals to the context that gets passed in, and which is underscore context in this case, and then do Alt-Shift-F command save, just reload that to be safe, and then we can do .m@gmail.com, and then just do test123, and this time hopefully when we click login, we should get an error saying error authenticating, as you saw at the bottom of the screen. And now if I do Hussein.Mustafa, which is a registered user, test123, and I click on login, it'll give me welcome Hussein.Mustafa@gmail.com. So as you saw, we have successfully implemented this Snackbar service inside of our application. And now that we have implemented the Snackbar service in this way, we'll be able to use the Snackbar service on multiple pages throughout our application. And this would help us to actually save writing a bunch of duplicate code in each page where we would have logic for actually showing the Snackbar. And with that, I'm going to end this video here. I'm going to see you guys in the next one. And then now in the next video, we're actually going to work towards creating the registration page UI. So with that, I'm going to end this video here, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.